had a really good upbringing, normal childhood, played sports, I have two sisters. My parents were divorced. My dad lived in Kansas City, and my mom and stepdad, we lived in St. Louis and then Dallas and then here. I had a normal childhood, lots of friends. Stepdad worked for the fire department here in town. My mom works at an orthodontics office in town. And, just a normal, went to Hickman High School, played baseball, played soccer. My junior and senior years of high school started, hanging out with guys and girls that were drinking and going to parties, and then I started smoking a lot of marijuana. And it kind of through my college years progressed. I kind of stepped my usage up, built my tolerance up, and so I switched from smoking weed to doing cocaine and drinking heavily, every day basically for the last close to probably 20 years. Looking back on it, the alcohol and the drug addiction it consumes you. It's consuming, and it physically drains you, it mentally drains you, and you lose kind of sight of what really is important and what's fun. I used to have fun playing golf, and I used to have fun going to baseball games and, hanging out with my friends and just doing normal stuff. And that's what my life was revolving around, was finding, when I would go out, I would find ways to incorporate drugs and alcohol into that, because that's what made it more fun. It was dark, I was angry, I was depressed, I was having anxiety all day long, paranoia, you lose everything. You lose your friends, you lose your jobs, you lose your money to pay your bills. I was late on my bills, and it was just a cycle of dark, places. It was always just very down in the dumps, and it was almost like it's a helpless feeling, because the drugs, they trick you. When you have them, you feel great, and then when you don't, it's just this empty loss, and you do anything to try to get it back. In 2017, it finally caught up with me, and I was sentenced to a 4-year sentence. So I served 9 months of a 4-year sentence, and I was released. And I'm currently going through the DWI court program. It's been great for me. It really, I think looking back on it now, sober now for the last almost 2 years now, it saved my life, or somebody else's for that matter. The DWI court program has provided me with a lot of structure, meetings attending, and monthly, starting off with weekly court sessions, and then monthly court sessions, and then they kind of, they start you off really high, and then they kind of watch you progress, and then they cut the reins loose a little bit. But, sobriety for me it's my life is so much better. Well, I think when I first came to Phoenix years ago, it was for my mental health problems. So that was one of the first things that we addressed. And then we started, my alcoholism really was the main root of my, Phoenix House, Phoenix programs, sessions with Greg, and I've done once in the past, I've done a 28-day rehab stint there. It's a great place to be when you want to really change. You have to want it for it to work. I enjoy life these days. I've got a steady job, paycheck, whereas before it was hard to keep a job. It feels good to get up clear-headed every day, not having to worry about what I did last night. Recovery is healthy for me. I eat better, I sleep better, I enjoy the outdoors again, whereas I used to be secluded in my addiction inside, didn't want to go out. Now I want to get out and enjoy the fresh air and hang out at the park with my dogs and my daughter. And I play a lot of golf. I'm an avid golfer, so it feels great to be sober.